but I'm not sure if you can see, I do have kind of the basic outline drawn out in pencil. As I've explained, you just can't see it on the screen otherwise, so it's kind of pointless. It would look like I'm just not drawing anything for like 10 minutes. But yeah, it really doesn't take me very long at all. So I'm going to start off straight away with my fine liner, and I'm going to draw out the boxes as they are what I'm going to be using to plan my week, I guess. So these little boxes, I'm doing 5, as recently I've decided I only need really to plan Monday to Friday. So if you want to include more, then you would just have to make the boxes a little bit smaller so that you can include 2 extra ones for the weekend, or even just 1 extra one, and you could have weekend as a whole. But that's just a personal choice kind of thing. I just kind of thought that in order to encourage myself to have a bit of time off, then maybe not scheduling anything at the weekends would be the best way to go. So, as I said, these are all measured out in pencil first, so I'm literally just going over it in the fine liner pen. However, they are 5 centimeters by 5 centimeters if you did want to copy this kind of layout. So, as much as the dots are really useful and you can just count the dots if you wanted to measure like that, sometimes it's just a bit quicker if you know the size, so you can just use the ruler rather than having to count every time. So that I find always speeds things along a little bit. And although this bit isn't the quickest of bits to do, it really doesn't take very long, and I actually find it a bit therapeutic, so hopefully you do as well. I also have a ton of trees being cut down near my house, and it's so noisy, so if you hear that at any point, it seems like they've stopped maybe for a lunch break or something, so it's really good timing, but it's been so loud for the past few days. I was actually a bit worried whether I was going to have to cancel the live or something, but for now we are okay. Also, that line just went really wobbly, so yeah, that's not very good. Okay, last one. So yeah, as I said, 5 boxes as I'm just doing Monday to Friday, but squeeze in some extra ones if you want to. Also, this is just a single page weekly spread, as that's what I've been liking recently. Plus, I'm getting quite close to the end of my journal, and I want to try and fit the whole year in this book. So that's just something I'm taking into consideration at the moment. So, next up, let's do my September writing. If you've not seen my September setup, then just a bit about these spreads is that these are, the theme is Forget-Me-Nots, which is because September is actually Alzheimer's Awareness Month, like World Alzheimer's Month, I think is the title. But yeah, so as my nan has Alzheimer's, I thought it would be nice to do this month in honour of that. So that is the little story behind it and why it's all blue flowers. And I think it's nice to use my platform and spread a bit of awareness where possible. So that's what this theme is for. That's why I'm using all the blue colours, and hopefully you will see it all come to life when I start to add in the little flowers. So we're going to start adding the flowers next, just so that completes these little boxes. So I've got a few different colour blues that I'm working with, and as I said, it is already sketched out in pencil. So I'm just going to draw the outlines, and I'm just doing 5-sided flowers. I don't know if you would call them that or what, but just like a really basic flower shape. And Forget-Me-Nots have a little yellow circle in the middle as well, so I'm going to add those in a second. Doing a mixture of blues and purples and sort of violets, I guess. And this Tombow brush pen is a really nice colour that I've been including in this setup. But in terms of tips for a weekly spread, I just wanted to mention a few things that I think about when I'm setting it up. So of course is, first of all, the number of days that you want included, as that will obviously affect the layout. Also, whether it's going to be a single or double page. So those are obviously the basics. And then I've recently been including some trackers on my weekly spreads. So although I've got my monthly trackers, which I'm going to film a flip through soon so you can see all of those, but I also like to include some on the weekly spread because 1, I like how it looks, and 2, I find it's useful as a reminder, because you're obviously then going to be checking in with this page every day, whereas you're, you know, depending on how your monthly setup is, you might not have to go back to it every single day. So I just find this is a really good reminder for that. Let me do the colouring in now, whilst I just carry on explaining. So I'm just colouring in the little flowers. I do the yellow circle first, and then go around the edge with the colour. Just try and be as neat as possible, but it's a little bit tricky. Yeah, so think about any kind of trackers that you might want to include. I've actually got a video that I'm planning to film this week, I think, that should help with that. I'm going to film a load of different trackers that you can just add to a weekly spread, because I do find it really useful, and I think that a lot of other people might benefit from it as well. But I think with the bullet journal stuff, it's all very much, you know, we kind of just go with the flow, and actually if you've got something that would work for you better than what everyone else does, then you should do that. So for me, it's adding a few little trackers onto my weekly spreads. So yeah, I'm going to do a video on lots of little tracker ideas that you can just add on. So then if you're not sure, or you just want to change things up a bit one day, then you can check that video out once I filmed it. It will hopefully be up next week. But I thought this might be a good kind of lead up to that, and just explain kind of the thought process behind adding a tracker. So you kind of want to think, what do I really want to focus on this week? Because of course there's not going to be loads of room. You need to think about what you actually have space to include, and yeah, just like what's really essential for you to have on your weekly page. And for me, the kind of things I'm often wanting to focus on is sleep and reading. So making sure I'm reading, even if it's not my book, just something, maybe articles or anything to do with work or that sort of thing. So on this spread, I have got 2 trackers that I'm going to add in. Move our little flowers aside for a minute. Go back to my fine liner. And this is my little reading tracker. So it is just a simple bar graph. If you've seen any of my weekly spreads, you will see that I have been really liking this kind of setup recently. So there's that. So along the bottom, we've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Hopefully you can see, but I know it's a little bit small. And then up the left-hand side, we've got the number of pages. So I'm going to start at 5 and go up in 5. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Because realistically, I'm probably not going to read much more than that in a day. If I did, it's really not the end of the world. It's more so just for like a reminder and to keep on track with the fact that that is one of my personal goals. Just written pages across the top, and this will literally just be like a school bar graph like you do in maths. So on the Monday, if I read 20 pages, it would just be a line up to there. Tuesday, if I did 35 pages, it would go all the way up to the top, that sort of thing. So this kind of tracker is one of those ones that you can just easily add. You can make it for sleep, you can make it for literally anything, steps, yeah, literally anything. So that's that one. Then up here, I'm going to add hours of sleep. This was one I just sort of came up with because I didn't really have room for anything else, but I still wanted to fit in the sleep. So I've written hours of sleep, and then I'm literally just going to put Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Of course, if you're pressed for space, just using the initials of the days is a really useful way to save a bit of space. Then I'm just going to draw a line just to link it to the other little box. Whoops, that went a bit out of line. Here we go. I can use my white gel pen to blob that one out. And then I will literally just record how many hours I slept. Usually I might try and squeeze in 2 of these, so I would have a pages one and a sleep one, but just because of this type of setup for this week, there wasn't as much room, so I just thought it would be good to show how different setups you can still squeeze in little trackers if you want to. And that is the basis of the tracker section. I'm then going to add in the days. So I'm going to put Monday there, just MON, wed. I always find just using the shortened version makes it a lot quicker and easier. Don't need to worry about fitting the whole word in, especially Wednesday. It never goes well for me. So just the first 3 letters of each day is always handy. Yeah, so that is the very, very basic setup, and I'm then going to add on my little doodles down here, which is some flowers and just ties it in with the theme again. So I'm going to go ahead and add in those. And hello to everyone in the chat, by the way. Feel free to ask any questions if you have any, and I will just continue chatting whilst I colour in the rest of this. But it's just a quick live today. I wanted to show how quick and easy weekly spreads can be, especially to add in some trackers and make it a bit more your own, not having to necessarily just go with what is the done thing within the bullet journal community, because it is very easy to see how nice certain spreads are and think that, you know, you just want to copy, when in reality it might be that you would benefit from a slightly different layout. So I'm just trying to hang on, which colour is this? This is the only thing with the very similar blues. Yeah, it's easy to get carried away with just what looks nice, but I think this kind of shows that you can get a good compromise between looking nice but also working for what you want. So if you want some trackers, you can fit them in. If you want to make sure you can fit all your spreads in, single page weekly spreads can look just as nice. So yeah, hopefully that is helpful. Let me know which kind of trackers you would include in your spreads if you were to be creating one right now. And for me, I find, yeah, sleep and reading is my kind of go-to thing that I'm always wanting to improve, I guess. Yeah, so I've got a few different types of tracker videos coming up, just because I find that a lot of people really seem to enjoy the trackers, and it's a lot of what people find helpful. So yes, a few of those coming up very soon, and one more little flower. And yeah, as I said, this is in honour of Alzheimer's Awareness Month, so that's why it is the little forget-me-not flowers. That's like the symbol of Alzheimer's and dementia. Yeah, so there we go. Little purple one. I'm going to do a few as if they're little buds, I guess. And let's have a blue up here. Then I'm just going to use my green fine liner to create the stem and just kind of link all the flowers together. And if you were to create some sort of flower type of little drawing, I do find that drawing the flowers first and then just drawing the vine that joins them all up at the end seems to work better, because sometimes if you draw the lines first, you then realise you don't actually have enough room for the flowers and stuff. So yeah, that's what I just found when I was setting up these spreads, that drawing the flowers first actually made it a lot easier. And it means then it definitely works well, because you can make the line of the vine kind of join everything up. You can make it look as if it was going behind the flowers, if that makes sense. But yeah, so that is literally all it is. I know it's only been 10 minutes or something, so I think that just goes to show how quick it is. Obviously I did have it penciled out first, but yeah, it literally took me 5 minutes. So as I said, these squares are 5 centimeters by 5 centimeters. I've then got 2, dots worth of lines in between to separate them. Got my little pages tracker down here for how many pages I've read per day. Hours slept little tracker, just to make a note of how many hours I slept. And of course some little doodles to make it all look nice. I then add in my white kind of highlights, because forget-me-not flowers have little white bits coming out from the yellow. So I'll just add in all of that. But I do think my white gel pen is on its way out, so I need to order another one. It served me very well. I use it in most of my spreads now, even if it's just for like a highlight on the letters or something. I just find it really brings the page to life a little bit. Oh, the shadows are going to be really annoying. Sorry about that. Yeah, so that's all it takes. 10 minutes, a few different coloured pens, and just having a good think about what would benefit you to track that week. You could swap in some habit trackers, you could swap in a water tracker. So yeah, if you've got any specific trackers you would like me to create and show you how I would fit them in, then let me know. But as I said, I've got a few videos coming up in the next couple of weeks that should help with that as well. So get your suggestions in now and I might try and fit them into the video, and if not, I can always create a second one afterwards if there are a few different suggestions. So I'm just drawing lines coming around from the center of them, and also a little bit on the little buds that I've drawn as well. And there we have it. That is the weekly spread all set up. I'll then do my to-do lists in the boxes, fill in the little trackers, and it should look really cute. And that's it. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will be replying to some comments on the video afterwards. So feel free to drop any comments, questions, that sort of thing. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye everyone.